With Mikey Garcia here, who's of course going to be fighting Pacquiao. When are you fighting Pacquiao, Mikey?
Well, we're finalizing all the details, but we hope to get the date exact in the next few days, get an exact date, location, everything.
But we're looking at May, right?
Well, we're trying to get everything done for May. I mean, it's been in the works for a long time. It's been in the works for a few years, and particularly more in detail in the last year. Right before COVID, happened. But now, in the last few weeks, about a month or so, we've been getting very close to working on this, to finalizing this, and I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited. We'll have all the details set in the next few days, a matter of time. So far, it seems like all the parties are on board, and I'm excited for it.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So you heard it right there from Mikey Garcia. He's going to be facing Manny Pacquiao next, and is most likely going to be in May. First things first is I got to give shots out to Mikey, because me and him, we had conversations talking about this where I told him that I truly believed that Manny Pacquiao was really going to fight either Terence Crawford or Errol Spence. And Mikey said there's no way Manny Pacquiao is going to fight one of those guys. It turned out he was definitely right. Manny Pacquiao has been pulling a Teofimo Lopez for the last couple of months, which I don't understand why he has to do that, because at Manny Pacquiao's age and everything that he's accomplished and finishing in second place against Floyd Mayweather, he could easily justify fighting the Mikey Garcias, fighting the B-level fighters, etc., etc. But my whole thing is, why don't you just be honest if you're going to do that? There's no reason to tell the public that you want to fight Errol Spence, you want to fight Terence Crawford, if you know deep down you have no intentions of facing those guys. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, right before COVID, Manny Pacquiao, he demanded $20 million to fight Terence Crawford. And Bob Arum actually came up with the money, or at least he had some investors that were willing to pay Manny Pacquiao $20 million. Now, when I look back in hindsight, I feel that Manny Pacquiao was asking for $20 million, expecting them to say, no, we don't have that kind of money to pay you right now. But they actually came up with the money. But the problem was, because of the COVID restrictions and they weren't going to be able to have a crowd, that's when the investors pulled out thinking they wouldn't make their money back. So the investors told Bob Arum, let's come back to the table later when this COVID kind of slows down a little bit. Even though America is at 500,000 dead right now, this is when they started to renegotiate. So you know what Manny Pacquiao did? Months later, once they came back to the negotiation table, which is more recently, he then demanded $40 million, doubling what he requested in the first place. Almost as if he's saying, okay, well, I asked for 20 and they're still willing to give it to me? Well, let me try 40 million. I'm sure they're not going to give me 40 million. And that's exactly what happened. So he asked for $40 million to fight against Terence Crawford. He asked for 20 before that. And now that he's fighting Mikey Garcia, we know for a fact he's not making $40 million to fight Mikey Garcia. I don't even know if he's going to make $20 million to fight Mikey Garcia. So that clearly tells us he really had a lot of respect for Terence Crawford. There's no doubt about it. But this is a good fight, especially considering the fact that 2021 is the worst year of boxing. To this day, we have no big fights for the year that have been announced yet. Not saying that there won't be, but there's zero at this time. And we could have had a lot of great fights that could have been announced. I mean, we could have had the Devin Haney versus Teofimo fight if Teo would have decided to fight against Devin Haney. He could have been fighting Devin next, which would have been in May. We could have had Ryan Garcia versus Tank. We could have had that announcement if Ryan Garcia didn't pull out of the Tank fight. We could have had an announcement of Oscar Valdez facing Shakur Stevenson. But Oscar Valdez doesn't want the fight. We could have had Tyson Fury versus Wilder 3. And then after that, if Fury was successful, we would have had Fury versus Anthony Joshua this year. But Tyson Fury, he didn't want to honor his own rematch clause and give Deontay Wilder the third fight that Tyson Fury was ordered to take. We could have, or maybe we still can get, an announcement of Jamal Charlo facing David Benavidez in September. There's still a big possibility that that fight can happen, even though Jamal Charlo has been saying some discouraging things, at least discouraging to boxing fans. When you hear him talking about David has to be vaccinated, he has to be over 25, he has to come down to a catch weight. All of these things make it sound like he's probably not going to take the fight, but I still think it can happen. I'm still optimistic about the situation because a lot of people were accusing Jamal Charlo of ducking Julian J. Rock Williams, and he ended up fighting him, and we seen how that fight played out. Now, since Manny Pacquiao is not going to fight the very, very best all the way at the top of the welterweight division, which would obviously be Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, I have to say, I do like this fight, Manny Pacquiao versus Mikey Garcia. I think this fight is a lot more competitive than people think. For all those people that made excuses when Mikey Garcia lost to Errol Spence, I can almost guarantee you this is going to be a competitive fight, unlike the Mikey Garcia versus Errol Spence fight, which is going to once again or further prove that his loss to Errol Spence had nothing to do with size, which Mikey Garcia himself had admitted in the post-fight press conference. He told him the main problems he had was with Errol Spence's timing, his reflexes, his jab, him changing his levels, and being at a range where Mikey Garcia was never in position to catch him with shots. Mikey never said it was his size and power that made the fight so difficult. You hear a lot of fighters say stuff like that when they move up in weight. A lot of times they do attribute it to the guy just being too big, too strong. But that's not what Mikey said at all. I truly believe Mikey Garcia, he has a real good chance of winning this fight. So we'll see, hopefully. As you heard Mikey Garcia say, they don't have a date or a venue yet, but they should have all of that in the next couple of days. I look forward to the announcement. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one. Listen, I'm telling you guys right now, in the world that we live in today, one of the most important things in life to have is a good lawyer. And I can vouch for this one right here, because this brother is my personal lawyer. So if you need any type of legal representation, if you need legal advice, if you're having problems on YouTube, on your regular job, or whatever it is, contact lawyer, mediator, and business consultant Issa Israel's law firm. I've been knowing this man for a while, and he has been a true blessing to me. I'm telling you, he's affordable, he will work with you, but most importantly, he's not going to just treat you like a customer. He will have your best interest. So to get in contact with him, go to iilawfirm.com or consultsglobal.com. All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, then this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called LO Dekey Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to lodekey.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram. Fellas, I've got some great news for you. If you've lost your hair or have a receding hairline, the time has come when you can finally get your hairline back through a process called scalp micropigmentation. So here's how it works. It's a hair tattoo that replicates the look of your hair follicles when you have fully shaved it down. So to get this hookup, make sure you follow and contact my man Scalp Carolinas on Instagram.